Hi YouTube, this is Rockin' Robin here coming to you from on location. I have a surprise for my people today. I am finally going to show you the person that I'm always talking about. The person that when I'm having a bad day with my journey, although she was not a weight loss, a VSGR or weight loss, whatever, she has been working on her. I'll let her tell you about her. But she's been working on her journey for the last 10 years, correct? So I just want to introduce the person that I'm always referring to, and you guys thought it was a figment of my imagination, Miss Cindy Lee. Okay, and now she's going to tell you a little bit about herself. I'm going to take it off of me and put it on her. Now you have to
We're going to operate like a question and answer because I have nothing to
Okay,
just
so question and
volunteer.
answer. I just want to make sure that you're in screen. Are you in screen properly?
I think so.
Okay. So, how long ago did you start your weight loss journey? Well, I want you to tell us a little bit about you since, you know,
Such as what?
name, address, telephone number.
No.
Okay.
My name is Cindy Lee,
Okay.
and I live in Miramar, Florida.
Okay, that's good. They don't know where Miramar from. Most people are out of the country. I mean, out of the state. But anyway, um, I just want you to share with us a little bit about your journey.
I'm turning 40 on June 25th.
Yay! Happy birthday!
Very excited.
Happy birthday! Okay, I just want you to tell us a little bit about your journey. What ups and downs? Just give us a little synopsis of. Although you're not a weight loss surgery patient, you have gone through, had basically some of the same struggles.
Well, I mean, I've known you for over a decade. I met you in 99 when I moved to South Florida. I have been, or had been heavy most of my life. I think the last time that I remember being under 200 pounds was the age of 10. I remember getting on the scale in my sixth grade PE class and being 199 pounds. And I think that's the last time I really focused on my weight.
Okay.
For the rest of, my, I guess, mid to adulthood.
Okay.
Started my journey in 2000. Well, that's not true. In law school, I had progressively gained weight I was very athletic when I was in elementary to high school. But when I graduated from high school and went to college, I just got out of control. I went from probably a size 18 to a size 28 within the course of that 4 years.
So it's safe to say you definitely did the freshman 15.
I did the freshman like 50.
That-
I mean, I don't think it was that bad, but where I had been playing sports and participating in a lot of activities in high school, when I went to college and partied and hang out and did all sorts of things, it's very easy to pack on the weight. And I partied a lot, I studied a lot, but I think I ended up gravitating to people who were like me. I found that most of my friends were about the same size I was. So we would swap clothes and we would be lazy together. And so I think it was very easy to gain weight. And I think by the time I got to law school, I noticed that, I was out of Lane Bryant. I was almost out of the avenue. I was about a 28-30. And a friend of mine just hit me to Weight Watchers. She was like, you want to try this? And I think I took it, I think I was there mentally to want to do something different.
What were some of your eating habits during this time?
I don't think I had any per se eating habits. My habit was to eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. I think it was a combination of three things. It was a combination of overeating, which I think is my biggest issue. I can put away to a whole pizza by myself easily. I think it was a combination of overeating, bad choices in food. I had no limits. I did not eat vegetables. I ate fast food all the time, especially when you're a broke college kid. Between the dollar menu at McDonald's, Wendy's, pizza, whenever I could get food at the dining hall on campus, I indulged. I love food. So, ribs, chicken, waffles, steak. I love meat. I'm not the hugest sweet person, but I eat just about anything. And I think that, that combination, especially like heavy starches with heavy meats, which tends to be restaurant fare, I mean, I would eat a Big Mac meal and a extra cheeseburger in a heartbeat. So that was number two. And then three was crazy hours. I was somebody that was up till 3, 4 in the morning, good for IHOP run, Denny's run, late night at 2 o'clock in the morning. Get up, 11 o'clock in the daytime, never ate breakfast. So by the time I was getting to my first meal, I'm already hungry. And it might not be 2 o'clock till I eat, but once I started eating at 2, I ate through the rest of the night. And then I was a huge snacker. I have a salt addiction. So potato chips, Doritos, I was someone who was known for drinking at least 2 cans of Coke a day. Regularly. Always drink soda. Never drink water. Never drink anything else but carbonated beverages. So I think that combination was like the death toll, in terms of weight. You're just packing on weight, and if you're not even being active, then the weight has no place to go but to pack onto your body.
So after college, did those habits follow you,
Of course, it got worse because when I got to law school, though I was not as broke as I was in college, I spent a lot of time, in summer internships, wining and dining. In the summers, the jobs that we had, a part of the job was to show you the good life. So we ate out at a lot of fancy restaurants, and I like good food. So now it went from eating McDonald's to eating, asabuco and, pasta and anything that we could duck, anything, high end that you can get your hands on. So I was up there. I mean, literally, after my first year of law school, I was wearing muumuus, just big dresses. I mean, that's pretty much all that could fit. And so when I started Weight Watchers, I think my third year of law school, I started Weight Watchers. And I was very successful in Weight Watchers. I mean, I'm a big proponent of that program in that for me as an overeater, it taught me to make better food choices and it taught me portion control. And I went from like 325, which was my heaviest weight. At 5'9", I think I carried it well, but from 325 to about 260 by the time I was graduating. But went back to old habits. I started studying for the bar, stopped exercising, and the weight slowly started to creep back up. By the time I moved to Miami in '99, I was okay. I wasn't doing terrible, but I met my ex-husband, got engaged. He was 160 pounds soaking wet. So I got back in the habit of comfort eating with him. And so by the time we got engaged and I went to go try on dresses and I was back wearing a 28, I was 300 pounds. And I made a decision. I remember getting on the scale and being 300 pounds and deciding from that day forward that was it. I was going to make a change. I think on top of that, my father had died the year before, and I think that he was a large part of my issues as well because he loved to feed me. I was definitely a daddy's girl. My father loved to cook. He cooked well. All of our habits for our family were eating events. My mom was over 260 pounds. My brother was close to 300 pounds. I mean, we were eaters. So whenever we celebrated with food. And I realized that food was my reward system to myself. And it was those mental issues that I was not combating with. Even though I was on a program, I wasn't dealing with those. So I tell people all the time, it was very easy to get into a losing weight mode. I knew how to do it. I went right back to Weight Watchers. Did the Weight Watchers plan and didn't even go into the site. I lost probably, by the time I got married, this was approximately 2002 that I started that plan. Okay. And from 2002 August till I got married in June of 2003, I lost about 100 pounds. Yes. I think I went to about a size 18 when I got married.
I remember
and
that.
Again, the losing weight process, I knew that I needed the exercise. I liked Weight Watchers telling me 20, 30 minutes a day. That was doable. I could do it. I was embarrassed to go to the gym. I did tapes. I did like Leslie Sanso's Walk Away the Pounds, 15, 30, 45 minutes. I just made sure that every day I did some form of exercise. I danced in front of the TV. I did things I like to do. you know.
Okay, and do you think, looking back at that now, what was your mindset with, is this something I'm doing for today, or did you have a long
Oh,
term?
I definitely think at that time, though I had lost the weight before, I was still in the losing weight for a purpose cycle. And at that point, it definitely was for the wedding. So after the wedding, I was like, wow, I mean, I'm down to a 14, 16. But I kept going with it. And I think maybe about 6 months later, for the first time, I went under 200 pounds. I got down to 199. And I was ecstatic, got into a size 12. The thing about that people don't talk to you about is that though you've been losing weight, and I will tell you, I lost it pretty much strictly cardio. One of my only regrets is that I did not take a more serious approach to my exercise in terms of not just the instant gratification of losing. That's what you get into. You see the weight coming off the scale, that's all you're focused on. But when I tell you my body, I was just not happy with it. I mean, I was down, my lowest weight that I got to on Weight Watchers was 176 pounds. But because I didn't do any kind of strength training or muscle building with it, my stomach was still bigger than my thighs. My legs looked scrawny. My arm, everything jiggled. I hated, whenever I moved, I always felt like, oh my God, I'm going to need so much plastic surgery because I was not satisfied with my body.
Back to the eating for 1 second. When you were down to this weight, it was because of Weight Watchers. You were still on the Weight
I
Watchers
got
tip.
down to 176 pounds strictly on Weight Watchers.
Okay.
From 325 to 176 was Weight Watchers.
Okay.
Now, that was 2000 and maybe 4.
Right.
And I remember going to my 10-year college reunion, wearing a size 12, being like, wow, this was great. But still, I could not get naked. I had a very hard time being comfortable with anybody seeing me, without a foundation garment on or without something kind of binding me in because I was not pleased with my body.
So you were losing the weight.
I had gotten down to a weight that, at the point that I was 176, my family, including you, my friends, were like, you're a bobblehead. Yes. Your head looks bigger than your body, because I had no tone. Everything was out of proportion. And I would say for the last decade, that has been what's been different. Beyond now refocusing myself on wanting to maintain the weight loss for health, you cycle up and down. I realized that I knew how to lose weight. I didn't know how to keep off weight. And I started recognizing that it is cycles.
How did that thought of, okay, did you feel like that you were kind of going towards the abyss? Okay, I got the weight off. Now what do I do? Or what is maintenance? Or can I maintain maintenance?
I don't think I ever got to that point of what is maintenance, because you self-sabotage. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, no matter what way you lose weight, if you don't deal with your mental issues with food, it's going to go right back. And the thing for me was
surgery or natural,
whatever you do. I don't care what you utilize. If you don't deal with what your basic mental issues are and your hang-ups with food are, you are going to end up with a very difficult journey. In some way, shape, or form, you're going to revert in some way.
What do I do now?
Well, here was what my issue was, and I say for everybody, everybody's issues are different. I had to start recognizing what my big issues were, because the thing about Weight Watchers is I didn't want to count calories forever. I didn't want to count points. I didn't want to always be checking to see, is this bread, that bread? And the other thing about Weight Watchers is you're not learning the real quality of food. You're not really, I lost weight eating Oleester chips.
It's like
I went from
mechanical.
Doritos to Oleester chips.
Right, it's like mechanical.
Right, I went from Coke to Diet Coke. I went from, eating things with full fat to fat-free. I did every cutback you could to still eat certain things that I wasn't at that point, I wasn't willing to lose from my diet. But what happens over time is the moment you give yourself license not to count points on Weight Watchers, you're going back up. So I had these constant cycles of gaining 20 pounds, then all of a sudden getting back on a losing weight motion of losing 20 pounds. So the losing part, I've got that down to a science. But I had to realize that, okay, one, I'm still not happy with my body. Two, I still don't know how to eat. If I give myself license, I overeat. If I'm not counting points, I'm overeating. So the first thing I had to do was tackle some of the body issues, because I was like, it can't be that I'm never going to get naked again and, other people see me. So I actually remember one day I went to a gym and I was on the treadmill And a trainer stopped by and he looked at me. He said, you've lost a lot of weight. He said, but I can tell you've never strength trained in your life.
Was
Come
this the
see
big
me.
A?
This is Alex.
All
Alex
right.
Picard. And I, bless him.
I met him. He's psycho too.
I bless him. I love him.
Are you in frame?
He is he is a close friend of mine. And I would say every instructor I've ever had, it's a very personal relationship between you and that instructor. You have to find someone that you're going to be comfortable with, who's going to push you to your potential.
Maurice. Yay,
And
Maurice for me.
with Alex, I've known him for the last decade. And over that course of time, I wish I had pictures, and I'm bad about that, of what my body looked like before I started strength training.
We'll find some and put it on the end of this video.
Because I had no butt. My butt was completely flat. I didn't think I could get a butt. My butt was attached to my back. He was the first person who taught me that you need to work your core, you need to work your lower back.
You hear that, Alex?
I can remember the unhinging. It was like an unhinging where my lower back started to slope out to booty. This is personal, but my breasts hung to the ground. My nipples faced south.
Anybody who's lost a lot of weight,
through doing chest exercise and chest working out, such a huge difference. Everything that jiggled, once I started to strength train, to lift weights, to sculpt, I do more strength training now than I do cardio because the strength training helps you burn.
Because we have to stop at 10 minutes.
Oh, the strength training helps you burn the fat and really lose the weight. But we probably have to wrap up for today. It would be great to be able to do different segments, talk about different things. There's a part 2 coming. Yeah, I would love to let's carve out and maybe focus on some specifics.
I'll have
specifically,
a list for you.
Working on your body, how you get in good shape. Robin doesn't talk about it, a lot, but because her journey is still in the early stages. But I used to literally be 47 to 52% body fat, and you can't tell in this dress, and you can't see the way I'm sitting right now, but I am literally today 17% body fat, and I have tone. I love my body. I love my shape. I can finally feel comfortable this year. I'm going to Brazil. I'm going to wear a bikini. Yes, you can get there, and it does not require any kind of major surgery to accomplish. I'm not going to say I've never had surgery because after maybe 9 years after having lost the weight, I finally felt like I was at a stable place where I could get the tummy tuck I always wanted because I had this huge flap that was my belly. It was completely flat, but it was a huge overlap to my stomach. And I got a tummy tuck and I got a lift. So I didn't want to get implants. I'm prone to cysts. I didn't want those problems, but I found an awesome plastic surgeon who just gave me, it's my own breasts, but gave me a really natural lift. And that's all the surgeries that I've had. But, you could see a little bit from here. This is my left arm, which is the big arm. Just a little definition, just showing you a little bit that it can be done. And I have never had surgery on